Hello, students. Today we are going to talk about the different types of social groups that we see in society. Accordingly, we are going to look at three different groups that we are going to concentrate on. These are the primary groups, secondary groups, and reference groups. Before we move on to understanding the meaning and the characteristics of these different social groups, we try to understand why do we have such groups in society, because there are many groups in society with different forms and different types. So why do we actually have need to have so many groups in society? The number one reason for this is that in primitive and simple societies, there were very less number of social groups that actually existed, and these were the ones in which all our needs and all our wants and desires could be fulfilled. For example, in a primitive society, your tribe could fulfill all of your needs that you had, your need for food, for shelter, for clothing, and so on and so forth. But as we moved on and evolved to more complex and modern societies, we started to have different desires which could not be met in the social groups that we were a part of in simple and primitive societies. So, as societies became more and more complex, human beings started to have more needs, started to have more desires and more wants. So, we not only needed to fulfill our need for food, for shelter, for clothing, but we also needed to fulfill our wants. We needed to fulfill the different desires that we might have in our life. For example, talent that we could harness and generate in our personalities. So these different things were not available to us, or were not being able to be met within the family or the clan or your age group, etc. So modern complex societies gave birth and emerged along with a large number of social groups, and it is because our needs have increased to different wants, and our desires have increased as human beings. So number one group that we are going to look at is the primary group. This classification of primary group was given by Charles Horton Cooley in his book Social Organization, where he called these groups as face to face groups. These groups are found in all societies, both in primitive societies and in modern complex societies that we see today. And in primitive societies, they were able to meet all of the needs of man within that particular group itself. Some examples of primary groups are your family, your neighborhood, children's playground, your friends club, peer group, etc. Now we go on to understanding the meaning of primary groups. Um, Charles Horton Cooley used the term primary groups to mean a small group where people come into contact directly with each other, face to face, and they have an intimate and a very close relationship with each other. An example of this would be your family. Okay, so your family as a primary group, as an example of a primary group, is a small group where all members of the family come into direct face to face and intimate contact with each other every day. Cooley used this term to mean that it is a social group which is characterized by number one, face to face contact, mutual aid, and companionship. This group is based on sympathetic and personal contact which we find between members of our family and our friends. These are the people with whom we enjoy the more intimate and social relationships, because members are helpful with each other, they are cooperative and sympathetic to each other's needs. All the needs that we have within the family are met by the members of the family itself. And if one member of the social group has any need that needs to be met, all the members of that particular social group try to try to make that need fulfilled of that particular member. Okay, so for example, within the family itself, our your parents, your mother, your father, your brother, siblings try to meet the needs of the younger, generation, the children. So the father, for example, goes out to work, or the mother, for example, goes out to work in order to provide food for the young ones. So that is how the members of this particular primary group, which is the family, they try to meet the needs of all the family members involved. We go on to understanding the characteristics of primary group. Number 1, primary groups are groups which are very small in size. They could be around 4 to 10 members within the primary groups. It is small in size, and therefore it tries to have a more face-to-face and intimate relationship. Because of its small size, it helps us to have a more intimate and a close relationship between all the members of the primary group. Number 2 is the dominance of the face-to-face relationship. The relationship between members of primary groups has to be face-to-face, so that members have a close and personal relationship with each other. And if they don't meet each other every day face to face, then the relationship obviously declines. And that is why primary groups are dominated by this characteristic, where the members have to meet face to face and directly. Next is physical proximity of the members, where members stay or live together in close and physical contact with each other. An example of this would be the family, where all the members of the family, they stay in the same household, and that helps to fulfill this need of being physically close to each other. Once you are physically close to the other person, then the relationship grows into a more intimate and a close relationship. Number 4 characteristic of primary group is the identity of shared interest. That means all the members of the primary group have one common shared interest, which all members work together to achieve. For example, a family has the interest of looking after the well being of each and every member who is involved within the family itself. So, every person in the family itself, they work together to fulfill this need. Number 6 characteristic of primary group is that members, they have direct communication with each other, and they cooperate directly with each other. The last characteristic of primary group is that they are stable and more or less permanent. Primary groups don't change because, and that is why they remain permanent. They are more or less stable. They are more or less permanent. So, as you know, an example of primary group would be your family, and family is more or less the most permanent thing that an individual has in his or her life. So from the time that a person is born till the time the person dies, he or she lives his whole life within the primary group, which is the family. And that is why we say that primary groups are more or less stable and permanent.